And there's a saying in Brazil, when their soccer team won the World Cup, the chant was tetra, tetra, meaning four-peat. And right now, trying to stand in the way of that tetra is Yago Dora. 3 laser sharp turns, finishes with a 4th.
Really smart surfing by Yago Dora right here. Backing up, getting another number. Now this is going to apply mental pressure to Felipe Toledo. And I feel what Yago Dora is going to do is get these numbers, put that pressure on Toledo, and try to get Toledo to surf outside of his skin. Take a look at this replay. And this was a beautiful wave with a lot of opportunity. Opens up this time with that layback hack. Another snap projection down the line. Has more time to bring that one all the way around, but nicely combos that up. So beautiful arcing turn at the end and comboing it up again. Starting now with that big layback slash instead of ending there. Way more risk at the beginning of the wave. This is a projection down the line. You can see he keeps on his toe rail. And then, this is very impressive. All the way around, launches it right into a bottom turn and combos it up for the finish.
Speed, power, flow. That wave had it all.
Yago Dora speeding down the line, hopping over a big rock, goes upside down. Yago Dora pulls off one of the best punts of the year. Unbelievable upside down rotation from Yago Dora, skipping over the rocks and pulling off the impossible. Thank you very much. Let's watch this again.
And this was one of those waves further up the point. So that's Mamarroca right there, the big one that you saw. And boy, that was just amazing.
Incredible. One more time from this angle.
So look at that. He has to go over that chop. And then he goes completely upside down. And Jordy Smith tried to take away the scoring opportunity and went over the falls himself.
He was patient with the wave.
He was, and so a pretty good start there. Watch this one, almost lose the foot there. Just pushes that power on the back foot and then gets the big float, I think, coming up here too. Bang, nice little free fall out of that. So technically a lot went on in this wave. And here's that downtime I was talking about. He just waited for it, perfectly times that little clean section, and gets to cut back into this little thing. And I'll let Pete talk you through the airs here. I used to see Pete do flips at lower lefts.
Oh, easy. You know, he had that crew, but I mean, the laid out backside threes that they can do now where he gets himself extended. You know, again, not the cleanest in the finish of it, but ultimately it was still amazing.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, what the judges see from their angle, you can see it looks quite steep. Front on, it looked a little different. That tail is high. Wow, it looks amazing from that angle. So inverted.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think this is quite possibly going to get him there.
It might. Now, watching it back again, technically, that's way up in the excellent.
Oh, anticipation is just one of the big keys here at Jeffreys Bay. You know, you start getting excited about what's coming your way from the moment you spot those big swell lines, and then the surfers get up, they race towards that first section. And Yago's let go of a decent opening maneuver here. Big section standing up. Beautiful turn there, well placed. And still has a lot of room to move down the line here. He's on his way to the number required. He needs a 7.17. And this has definitely been the best wave. And Yago's starting to really throw down some of the best surfing that we've seen in this heat as well. What a combination. And he celebrates, you know, it completely took the pressure of the decision out of his hands, because it was just a big hors d'oeuvre moment, as if I'm not going this one.
Yeah, right.
And he absolutely lit it up.
I mean, just look at where it is. You can see that it moves off the reef slightly, so it stays open. He doesn't have to race too hard. And then every time he came around, it was just a nice big vertical section. There it was, straight up. That was a just horrendous snap. I mean, just straight into it.
Flip the script and get that seesaw battle happening.
Yeah. Well, look, you can see this wave's only just barely overhead as he took off, and so I thought he might just go down the line because he saw something coming wide. But look at this, bang, one after another. He just teeing off on this thing, and he couldn't help himself. He goes, well, I got the flow going here, I'll just keep nailing it. And all those turns were spectacular.
Just stabbed at it.
Yeah, and then he got over the double up.
Advantage with the backhand, right? Is you're able to kind of just that last second go straight up vertical, and then that would have been a clean, big method error. If you landed that, I would, you don't see that very often. But again, right here, right at that moment in the pocket, you're able to just push it in the heel edge and go straight up.
Yago is a
great
big
surfer.
guy with a lot of power. I think people kind of obsess over the airs, but there's been a real evolution in his rail surfing in the last year, and different stages, particularly through that short season last year. He had some real confidence-building performances where he started to do his best surfing with the jersey on, something that every competitor on the championship tour strives to achieve.
For sure. And I think the thing about him, he's a thin, tall guy, but he gets his power from leverage. It's not from bulk leg mass, He places the board in the right spot, and he pushes off, and he uses the leverage of the wave and the board together to create that.
And looking for opportunities, and obviously as the more the heats go by, the better read they get on this swell. And in with an entry here, Dora. Then he'll swing one, just over 7 to go in this. What's he got? We see him on a steep wall here. Off the bottom, bangs one. Nice and steep. Little drift in that turn as well. Again, hits it nice and hard. Really critical in the pocket. Judges want to see that. And it is a dynamic pocket, absolutely racing away. And he finds himself some cover. Gets in a real throaty tube. He'll go again here. Pulling in, grabbing the rail. Yago Dora streaking through a backhand barrel. Wow. Makes it out and goes floppy. Loves it.
Brilliant wave selection out here at Super Tubes. Look as he looks over his shoulder, winds through. This wave has, standing up on that shallow section. These waves offer so much opportunity for the goofy footers. He gets really critical in that pocket. That turn right there, beautiful stuff. He lines up that next turn, looks over his shoulder, bang, up into the lip. So critical, crisp surfing from Yago, showing us some variety, not afraid to really risk it. Gets around that section, pulls under the hood. Beautiful first tube. He's not done. He pulls in again. Let's see the depth that he is able to cover here. So 2 sections, gliding through almost 3, and then coming out like that. The judges are going to lap that up, Paul. I feel like this is going excellent in my mind. We'll wait to see what the judges think.
5 big turns. That last turn put him a little behind, added the extra jeopardy as well. He had to kind of swing into that tube, didn't he, from behind the white water. And also, just as he gets that exit, got that little extra section, disappeared for a while. We weren't sure, and then he comes out. He's delighted. We're waiting to see what our panel make of it. But brilliant surfing from the Brazilian goofy foot Yago Dora with a tough heat against the yellow jersey of Toledo, and asked a question of 716. This is what he had to say in reply, just slotting into that beautiful run-in tube section.
It's been so fun to see the goofy footers. I think we've really obliterated that stigma of, the goofy footers not being able to handle jab.
Another one setting up for Yago Dora. Nice slip into a big cave. And Dora will celebrate. We talk about a quick turnaround that you can get here at Tehupo'o. And we're seeing that live from the Brazilian goofy foot. That one had a lot more size in his wave before. He's got a couple of important scores locking in as we take another look.
Yeah, this wave, it just had more of that West Bowl feel. It opened up. It was super nice and round. Bigger set as well. It was on that outside ledge, and Yago just stalling at the start there, and all he had to do was ride that wave and make it. It was the biggest wave of the heat, and just absolutely beautiful.
Slowing down the takeoff, Laura.
Just, picturesque style there by Yago, standing tall there and getting the pump. He probably will look back at that and think, could I have slowed down a little bit more? But look how far back he is there. It was wide open. This wave wasn't going to pinch at all, and he just had to ride it.
That's exactly what he wanted to do against Kelly. Not afraid to show you how he's feeling.
What they need to do if they want to be at this top level. So Yago, this is what we're talking about. This beginning section of the wave didn't really offer him much. He doesn't get too critical. And he's just waiting for this inside section, because that's where it really starts to grow fangs. He waits on the bottom there, meets that lip line. That's also just a little bit hung up there, but that turn right there, searing. Here he really meets the opportunity and the velocity of this wave. He just gathers that speed, which is such a beautiful thing on that backhand. You can see him just starting to talk through these turns. Wow, that angle right there just shows you what this ocean is capable of, and what Yago's having to do to match this power in order to complete these maneuvers. That lip is so thick, Paul. There's just so much water there. He gets that weightless feeling. and lines it up straight away. You see his eye line. He's like, okay, I'm completing this. I'm over my board. What's next? Just a beautiful commitment from Yago Dora. This is going to be an amazing wave for him, and see him skyrocket into the lead.
Excellent surfing from Yago Dora. Judges agree. The number comes in.
Beautiful conditions, and here we go. Dora, a couple of pumps off the bottom. Got to get into the speed stance to come through this section. Gets spit out. Yago Dora, again, looking for a 7.34. Looks at the judges' tower and says, give me the number.
A whole lot different from the wave just previous. Yeah, he had long barrel time, but that one, he drove through it. Again, we got to see it with the front on. This is the judge's angle. And again, he is similar to where we saw Griffith Colapinto drive through the barrel and carried a ton of speed. And watching it again, you know, he did everything perfect. You know, he slowed himself down, was on, trailing the foam ball there, so it's nice and deep, and then a bunch of speed as he carries through it. Definitely going to make this one a very interesting heat.
Well, this should tighten things up, and I love this angle. As you can see, the gallery of the front row here. A